In every life, there will be those who stand against us, whether by opposition, envy, or misunderstanding. But let us not be deceived into believing that the greatest triumph lies in mere combat. The world is full of those who think victory is found only in the clash of swords, the battle of words, the struggle of will against will. But I tell you, the true master knows something far deeper, far more potent. The greatest victories are those that are won without a single blow being struck. True strength lies not in fighting, not in overwhelming others through sheer force, but in learning how to shape the world around you in such a way that conflict becomes unnecessary. There is a deeper power, a quieter kind of victory that can be achieved without ever raising a hand or uttering a harsh word. The ancient wisdom of countless cultures and thinkers, from philosophers to warriors, teaches us this: the greatest battles are not fought on the field, but in the mind. If you can master the art of influencing without engaging, if you can outwit rather than outfight, then you will have discovered the greatest power there is. We are taught from an early age that victory is synonymous with conquest, that success is about defeating the enemy, claiming the prize. But ask yourself, what is true victory? Is it the moment when your opponent falls, defeated and broken? Or is it the moment when there is no need for such a battle in the first place? It is often said, it is better to be a lion for a day than a sheep for a lifetime, but I would counter, it is better to be a shepherd who knows when not to engage than a lion who is bound to battle for every scrap. Think about it. What if you could reach a point where your enemies simply no longer had the power to challenge you? What if you could remove the need for confrontation by elevating yourself above the fray? What if the greatest strength you could develop was the ability to change the circumstances around you so that conflict became impossible or irrelevant? This is not the path of weakness, it is the path of wisdom. The strength of self-mastery is often overlooked in a world that glorifies outward displays of power. But it is in mastering your own emotions, thoughts, and reactions where true power resides. As the great Marcus Aurelius once said, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. The moment you learn to control your own mind and emotions, you take away the power others might have over you. This does not mean to suppress your feelings or become a stoic in the truest sense, but to recognize that your emotions need not dictate your actions. When you can hold your ground internally, you will find that the external conflicts become easier to manage. The greatest adversaries are not those who stand against us physically, but those who challenge our peace of mind. The enemy we must most often battle is the one within. He who conquers himself is the mightiest warrior, said Confucius, and it is in this self-conquest that the seeds of peace are sown. If we can overcome the internal voices of doubt, fear, and anger, we will be unshakable in the face of external challenges. But what of those who stand against us, those who, for one reason or another, seek to harm, belittle, or undermine us? It is easy to believe that we must engage them directly, confront them head-on, and wage battle in the same way they attack us. Yet history is filled with examples of those who outmaneuvered their enemies not with swords or fists, but through understanding and insight. The true enemy is rarely as simple as a person or a group. It is often the very circumstances or misunderstandings that lead to conflict in the first place. Sun Tzu, the ancient strategist, famously said, "The supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting. This, perhaps, is the greatest wisdom of all." When you can see the whole picture, when you understand the dynamics of a situation and the motives of those around you, you can turn potential conflicts into opportunities for resolution. It is not about surrender, but about knowing that there are other ways to resolve disputes than through confrontation. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is walk away, step outside the situation, and allow the pressure to dissipate. It is not cowardice, it is courage in its highest form. In truth, the best way to defeat an enemy is often to remove the conditions that allow them to rise against you. You don't fight the storm, you move out of the way, and you prepare yourself to rebuild. A great warrior knows that every battle is not worth fighting, that the goal is not to win every contest, but to learn which battles truly matter. It is said that victory is sweetest when you've known defeat, but let me suggest that true victory is even sweeter when you don't need to experience defeat at all. If you can, through wisdom and understanding, see the patterns that lead to conflict and address them before they escalate, you've already won. This is the art of prevention, the skill of foresight, and the power of subtlety. When you can guide situations, steer them gently toward resolution, you become the architect of peace, not the prisoner of perpetual conflict. You see, our greatest strength lies not in our ability to destroy our enemies, but in our ability to understand them. The more you know, the less you need to fear. Deep understanding of those who stand against you allows you to take control of the situation without the need for direct confrontation. Understanding their fears, desires, and weaknesses gives you the leverage to influence, to guide, to change the direction of events. The wise ruler does not act impulsively. They wait for the right moment, and then act decisively if necessary, without ever drawing a sword. Patience is a crucial element in this process. The wise do not rush headlong into conflict. Instead, they wait, knowing that time itself often works in their favor. In the words of the great Lao Tzu, nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. The very forces that seem to be aligned against you may, over time, wear themselves down. The enemy may exhaust their own strength, may expose their own weaknesses. In the end, time reveals everything. And let us not forget the power of persuasion. Many great leaders have achieved their greatest victories not through force, but through the strength of their ideas. When you can speak to the hearts and minds of others, when you can change the way they see the world, you change the very nature of the battle. You may never need to raise a hand in violence, for the hearts of the people have already been won. Persuasion is a subtle weapon, a quiet force that reshapes the future. It is said that words are mightier than the sword, and there is no truer statement. The ability to resolve conflict without fighting it, this is the mark of true strength. This is the wisdom that transcends all. The greatest victory is that which requires no battle, said the philosopher Sun Tzu. And so it is. When we no longer see our enemies as forces to be conquered, but as challenges to be understood, when we stop fighting for the sake of fighting, then we begin to tap into the deepest and most enduring strength of all. In the end, we must understand that true power lies not in confrontation, but in resolution. The person who can bring peace, who can guide situations without engaging in endless struggle, is the one who has learned the most profound lesson of all, that peace is the ultimate victory. When we stop fighting, we stop losing. We find the quiet power of the mind, the gentle force of understanding, and the enduring strength of wisdom. And in this way, we emerge victorious, not in spite of our enemies, but because of them. The greatest victories are won within, not without. We live in a world that often glorifies external power, the strength to conquer, to fight, to defeat. But the true strength lies not in overpowering others, but in mastering yourself. He who conquers himself is the mightiest warrior, Confucius once said, and in this simple truth lies the key to real success. Self-mastery is not about suppressing our emotions or denying our desires. It is about understanding them, recognizing when they are guiding us toward growth and when they are leading us astray. It is the ability to step back, to observe, and to choose the best path, not just the easiest one. As the great Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, we cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. This is the essence of mastery, our ability to control our reactions, to rise above the impulses that can so easily derail us. True power does not come from controlling others, but from the ability to remain unshaken in the face of chaos. The greatest victory is that which requires no battle, said Sun Tzu, and this speaks to the heart of self-mastery. The greatest battles are often the ones fought within. When we can control our own mind, when we can quiet our fears, our anxieties, and our doubts, we remove the power others have over us. We become immune to the distractions and temptations that might otherwise lead us off course. Self-mastery also means taking full responsibility for your own actions. It means recognizing that no one else can dictate your success or failure. It is entirely within your control. You are today where your thoughts have brought you. You will be tomorrow where your thoughts take you. James Allen wrote in, "As a man thinketh." This is the power of thought. When we choose to guide our mind with intention, we guide our life in the same way. We must guard our thoughts, for they shape our words, and our words shape our actions. Through discipline and focus, we begin to create the future we desire, one thought at a time. But it is not enough to simply control our actions. To truly master ourselves, we must also master our time, our energy, and our focus. Time once lost can never be regained. We must be deliberate in how we spend our days. As Stephen Covey put it, the key is not to prioritize what's on your schedule, but to schedule your priorities. When we manage ourselves effectively, we align our actions with our deepest values, ensuring that every day is a step toward the person we wish to become. Self-mastery also involves knowing when to rest, when to recharge, and when to push forward. Life is not just about relentless striving. It's about balance, about knowing your limits and respecting them. To keep the body in good health is a duty. Otherwise, we shall not be able to keep our minds strong, and clear, Buddha said. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle and lose sight of our own well-being, but true strength comes from harmony, not from exhaustion. In the end, self-mastery is the greatest form of power. It is the ability to remain centered, focused, and driven no matter the circumstances. It is the power to shape your destiny through conscious, intentional choices. As you continue on your journey, remember that the only real battle is the one you fight within. Master yourself, and you will be unstoppable. In life, the most powerful tool at our disposal is not our strength, our intelligence, or even our resources. It is the ability to understand, to truly understand the world, the people around us, and most importantly, ourselves. Knowing others is intelligence. Knowing yourself is true wisdom, said Lao Tzu. His simple yet profound truth speaks to the very core of personal power. Understanding is the key to influence, growth, and overcoming the challenges that life throws our way. Understanding others is not just about learning their behaviors or picking up on their words. It is about delving into the deeper motives that drive them, their fears, their desires, their insecurities, and their dreams. It is about stepping into their shoes and seeing the world through their eyes. Only when we understand why someone acts the way they do can we begin to guide them, to change their perspective, or to turn an adversary into an ally. The greatest victory is that which requires no battle, said Sun Tzu. When we understand someone deeply enough, we no longer need to fight them. We can influence them, work with them, or even help them change without the need for direct confrontation. But this understanding is not one-sided. It is not enough to simply focus on others. We must first understand ourselves. Know thyself was the ancient maxim carved into the temple of Apollo at Delphi. This advice echoes through the centuries because it is a foundational truth. To understand the world, we must first understand our own minds. Our strengths and weaknesses, our biases, our values, and our fears all shape the way we view and interact with the world. When we understand these aspects of ourselves, we gain a deeper insight into why we make the choices we do, why we react the way we do, and why certain situations trigger us. The unexamined life is not worth living, Socrates proclaimed. Without understanding ourselves, we live in a state of unconscious reaction rather than conscious choice. Understanding yourself is not about self-criticism or self-judgment, but about self-awareness. It is about being honest with yourself, recognizing where you can grow, and being open to the idea that you are always evolving. As Carl Jung said, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. Self-understanding is a journey, not a destination. It requires patience, self-compassion, and a willingness to explore the depths of your own mind. Once we truly understand ourselves, we gain the ability to understand others. And this understanding opens up a world of possibilities. When you understand someone's motivations, you are no longer at odds with them. Instead, you can communicate with them more effectively, influence their decisions, and create solutions that benefit everyone. You stop seeing them as enemies or obstacles, and start seeing them as human beings with their own struggles and desires. This is how you turn a conflict into collaboration. There is also immense power in understanding the forces around you. Life often feels like a battle, and there are forces at play, whether they are societal, cultural, economic, or personal, that influence our decisions and shape our realities. Understanding these forces is crucial. It's about recognizing the larger picture and knowing how to navigate within it. You must be the change you wish to see in the world, said Mahatma Gandhi. Understanding the world around us allows us to determine how we can contribute to its betterment. We see the gaps, the opportunities, the injustices, and the areas where our actions can make the most impact. Understanding is the bridge between awareness and action. But understanding does not stop with others or with the world around us. It also extends to our circumstances. Every challenge we face, every setback, and every difficulty can be seen through the lens of understanding. Instead of being overwhelmed by difficulties, we can approach them with clarity, seeing them for what they truly are, opportunities for growth. Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body, Seneca wrote. Life's challenges, when viewed through the lens of understanding, no longer feel like burdens. They become the tools by which we shape ourselves, the stepping stones that lead us to greater strength, resilience, and wisdom. In order to cultivate understanding, we must also practice patience. The world moves at a frantic pace, and it's easy to rush to conclusions or make hasty judgments. But true understanding requires time. It requires a willingness to listen to hear not just the words that are spoken, but the feelings behind them. As the philosopher Epictetus said, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. Listening is an art, one that takes practice, humility, and attentiveness. When we take the time to truly listen to others, we gain a deeper understanding of their needs, their fears, and their hopes. Patience is also necessary in our understanding of ourselves. We often wish for immediate change, for instant results. But growth, whether personal or external, takes time. As the great poet Rumi said, "You were born with wings, why prefer to crawl through life?" Understanding that growth is a journey, not a destination, is essential. We must be patient with ourselves, allowing time for introspection and development. The more we allow ourselves to grow at our own pace, the more profound our understanding of ourselves becomes. At the heart of understanding is empathy. Empathy is the ability to feel what others feel, to experience the world through their eyes. It is the foundation of connection, collaboration, and community. Whenever you feel like criticizing anyone else, Scott Fitzgerald advised, just remember that all the people in this world haven't had the advantages that you've had. This empathy helps us bridge the gaps between ourselves and others, helping us create more meaningful relationships and bringing us closer to the shared humanity that connects us all. Understanding, then, is not a passive act. It is an active choice, one that requires effort, attention, and patience. It is a skill that can be owned, a practice that we can cultivate every day. And the more we understand ourselves, others, the world, the more powerful we become. In the middle of difficulty lies opportunity, Albert Einstein said. When we understand the challenges in front of us, we see them as opportunities for growth, rather than obstacles to overcome. To truly understand is to rise above the surface, to dive deep into the essence of life itself. Understanding allows us to transcend the limitations of our immediate circumstances and tap into the deeper currents of life. It is the key to overcoming any adversity, to turning challenges into triumphs, and to creating a life that is both meaningful and fulfilling. So as you move forward, remember, understanding is not just the key to navigating the world around you, it is the key to mastering your own destiny. Patience is often misunderstood. In a world that thrives on immediacy, where success is measured by how quickly we can achieve our goals, patience is seen as a weakness. Yet the truth is, patience is not simply about waiting. It is about trusting the process, understanding that things unfold in their own time, and knowing that the best outcomes often take time to develop. As the wise philosopher Aristotle said, patience is bitter, but its fruit is sweet. It's easy to rush toward results, but the value of patience lies in its ability to cultivate lasting success. In our fast-paced world, we often mistake action for progress. We push ourselves to act quickly, to move ahead without stopping, thinking that speed equals success. But sometimes the greatest strength comes not in the immediate reaction, but in the ability to wait. To wait for the right moment, to allow time to reveal the opportunities that would have been missed in a rush. As the great poet Rumi once said, "Don't grieve. Anything you lose comes round in new form." Life has a way of revealing itself in its own time. When we practice patience, we allow the universe to work on our behalf, aligning everything in its rightful place. Patience does not mean passivity. It is not about sitting back and doing nothing, but rather about understanding when to act and when to let things be. It is about recognizing that there is a rhythm to life, and sometimes the most powerful thing we can do is to be still and listen. There is a time to sow, and there is a time to reap. As Thomas Edison once wisely noted, genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. But the key to Edison's genius was not only his ability to work tirelessly, it was his ability to persist, to continue when others would have given up. Patience, in essence, is the persistence to stay the course, even when results are not immediately visible. We often see patience as a passive virtue, a sign of complacency. But in reality, it is one of the most active forms of strength. It requires faith in the process, in our efforts, and in the idea that good things come to those who wait. It's about knowing that just because we don't see immediate results, it doesn't mean we aren't making progress. Good things come to those who wait, but better things come to those who go out and get them, the saying goes. The key here is to marry patience with action, to combine perseverance with strategic effort, and to trust that everything we do now will pay off in due time. Life itself is built on patience. Every single day is a reminder that the things we want most may not come right away, but that doesn't mean they won't come. Patience is not the ability to wait, but the ability to keep a good attitude while waiting, said Joyce Meyer. This is where true strength lies, not in how long we wait, but in how we carry ourselves while we wait. When we practice patience, we build resilience, we learn to endure, and we gain the wisdom that time reveals. So let us not be quick to judge our progress or quick to dismiss our dreams because they seem far off. Let us remember that all great achievements require time, effort, and most importantly, patience. Like the oak tree, which grows slowly but steadily, it is the patience to allow our roots to deepen that makes us strong enough to weather life's storms. Stay patient, trust the process, and know that the best things in life are worth waiting for.